Yeah, I ain't here to sell y'all no dreams and no shit like that, you know. Yeah. Look, nigga, I ain't here to play make-believe. And I ain't the nigga that's gonna sit around and tell you to be grateful for what you got. If you want it, then go get it. Simple as that. It's a reason you don't accept the way you live. It's a reason you want the same love in return when you add up all the things you give. Don't let them play games with you. Guaranteed if the shoe was on the other foot, they wouldn't want to live the same with you. They don't have to walk outside that first light and have to see the same picture. You still waiting for a savior, huh? Listen to the same scripture. I ain't about to go insane with you. I ain't about to be the same nigga. Living with ya, being living with ya. Doing the same thing, expecting different results. Don't get it with ya. Fuck all that. Niggas got it twisted like they can't put a cap on. If I make that plate, I'ma eat it myself, nigga. I ain't Jimmy Crack on. And I do care, the line's right there. Don't live in the rim of life ain't fair. Fuck the end of the tunnel, bitch, your light's right there. Take a chance one time, bitch, your dice right here. I'ma give you head scratches like lights in your hair. Why you sitting around waiting, nigga? Life right here. Life right here. Living in a world full of make-believe. Nigga run around with a box, but I control my reality. Infinity sign on my clock. Just cause they don't understand me now, they tell me I'm a paradox. But later on in life they'll get it then, and then they'll be on my jock. They will. A lot of these niggas is fake as hell. I swear y'all remind me of props. Need to get rid of these lame fucks, like when a pepper go pop. Most of you niggas should call yourself homeless, cause y'all live in a box. My whole style orthodox. Dummies is a breed, not a flock. A lot of people say that they in it for the money, but the enemy is the ones that print it. So that mean you really not winning. Your power ain't taking this giving. You wake up every day, you ain't doing shit. What's the point of you really even living? Tell me. No, I ain't a preacher, I'm a realist. And nigga, I be going straight gorillas. Living in the system, tell me when we gon' break the chains. Finish it off the chains.
Quality entertainment? Discover Blackwire TV, the ultimate streaming service. Enjoy over 11,000 live channels.
When a nigga play connect foe, I'm just pushing through the threshold, trying to see how many niggas with me when I say let's go. But I don't depend on one person living, so I won't get offended when they say no. I ain't the nigga that's gonna give you that case low. He ain't tell you what to do or what I say so. Y'all motherfuckers know what the fuck you living in, so y'all should be telling me let's go. Living in a world full of make-believe. Nigga run around with a box, but I control my reality. Infinity sign on my clock. Just cause they don't understand me now, they tell me I'm a paradox. But later on in life they'll get it then, and then they'll be on my jock. They will.
More than 24,000 new and classic movies, and 7,000 plus series at your fingertips. Experience thrilling live sports and exclusive free PPV events. Entertainment. Experience unmatched convenience now. With Blackwire TV, 1,000 plus series at your fingertips. Experience thrilling live sports and exclusive free PPV events.
I guess my ads on crackatosis. I ain't got time for that. I don't got time for that today. I just ain't got time. So I'm gonna stop that. That's been stopped. It's been stopped. It's gone. Leave me alone. We back for another one. I feel like this one gonna be a banger. What you think, Tom?
Yo. I guess like we never left, you know. But I think they all good, man. You know, I think they all got some meaning and, you know, some thought provoking, some life changing content, you know. So but I like your how the show started with the little bit of crackling in the Blackwire, you know what I'm saying? I just want to give a shout out to Blackwire. I ain't got nothing bad to say. Blackwire TV has served me good, you know.
Hey,
so I can endorse the
champions right now, baby.
Right, I can endorse the Blackwire TV, not myself because I personally have it I caught a couple of little games and stuff on there. You know, I catch what I want on there. I watch centers on there, so it's pretty good app, man. But
Yeah, I appreciate that.
yeah, with the title though, you know what I said? With the title, are we in control?
Are we in control?
You know, so even like that, when we just had the black wire TV, the issue with that, you know. So I guess you know, if you would say, are we in control, and that just happened, and you had the power to control what we saw, meaning you know the glitch in the commercial, then I would say that we had the choice to make the option on what we should do once the glitch happened. So is that control, or is that just the two options that you truly had? You know, so you know, I just think that it's very kind of it's one of those ones that kind of like pull your ear, pull your tooth type thing. You know, am I really in control? You know, so growing up, I always used to think, you know, born in Gary, right next to Chicago or whatever the case may be, and it wasn't a lot of, you know, big buildings. I had to go to Chicago, so it was like, why I'm born over here? Why I'm not born down south? So for me, I guess where I was born at wasn't a choice. My complexion being melanated wasn't a choice. You know, so a lot of things wasn't a choice.
Right.
So in actuality, what choice did I have on where I was born and my complexion? And then even to go even further out, you know, within the urban community, you know, you have drug use on both sides. Some kids using drugs for the first time, which marijuana, and you got the adults that's using crack, liquor, and everything else during that time. Was that a choice? You know, and then you know people always argue and say, "Oh, well, they had a choice. They had a choice." Yeah, they probably had two choices because of the options that was given.
Right.
So you know, so when you say, "Are we in control?" That's what I look at when you say, "Are we in control?" I look at the choices that we are probably handed, like the free will type of idea, and that's just on kind of like a personal level. Then when you say, "Are we in control?" As far as the job, maybe I'm gonna let you take the floor because there's a couple different options, a couple different ways we can go about this.
Okay, so when I ask, "Are we in control?" I want to know what people think about us not being able to control anything that has to do with our spiritual, our future, or just our day-to-day living.
All right, so go ahead, keep expounding on that. So even let's go with the day-to-day living, then we'll back up.
Okay, day-to-day living. Let's just say you're not growing your own food. You are paying for genetically modified versions of your food. So basically, you're not even paying for the best version of what you eat. That's one.
So is that control, or if it's day to day, is that considered control? Is that a control, or is that are we in control, or is that just part of the program, or can we go against that program?
Well, let me ask you this then. Okay, so when you was growing up, right? You walk down the street. How many fruit trees did you just see just walking down the street?
Right, you don't none.
I'm just saying when you was growing up, not now.
Well, even when I was growing up, you had a couple apple trees, a couple pear trees, maybe some grapes on the vine. So you did
Yeah,
have a couple
right.
trees, a couple neighbors' trees. You can go right and get you some pears, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Now, that's not even an option.
True.
You know, so when you start to see things being dismissed and expelled from the table, slowly but surely, to the point now you can't even be just a random homeless person and just, you know what, let me grab a couple apples off that tree. You gotta go to the grocery store to go get you a couple apples. You gotta go to the grocery store to buy whatever meat they prepared for you. that they say is meat. It don't even have to necessarily be meat. They can tell you
That's
it's
true.
great. They can tell you it's grass fed, it's lean. They can tell you it's organic. They can tell you anything they want to tell you.
True.
But at the end of the day, the energy that you put in to earn what you're about to use to pay and transfer that energy, you're being controlled because they telling you that they giving you your options and telling you to pay for it. It's just like cable. You will pay for cable, but they only playing what they want you to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you pay for that?
Mm-hmm. So, but and with those scenarios, you can't break free of that because that's what you call the matrix.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't get rid of that. So that is what we. That's
well,
what
it's kind of getting to the point. It's kind of getting to the point where it's too late to get rid of it.
Well, it's never too late because we was given a divine spark, and that divine spark brings you back to the awareness. It's not that you want to change the matrix; it's changing the awareness. So when we change the awareness to the options that we're given, then we can make that awareness stronger, not the options. We can't change what this matrix is giving us.
Mm-hmm.
So we change our awareness to it. So when you first asked me, when we first talked about that, I in my mind, I really kudos you because you asked a question that starts the journey. Most people won't even ask that question on what control do I have over my life. So when you realize that you have lost complete control, then that is the awareness that start to take the change. So it's not that you change the matrix. You didn't create the matrix. Ha. We'll go back to that one. We'll go back to that one. You didn't create the matrix, so therefore you didn't choose the so-called options that we think that we have. Now, just to kind of briefly go into the creation of it, when I say you didn't create the matrix, you didn't create what we call TVs. There are inventors in XYZ. So you did create a reality that you walk into every second, every moment, every day. So we create that reality with the options that we're given, which is within the matrix. We're not given the options of a cat. We're not given the options of a dog. So with those options within this matrix, we can choose from a lower will, which is basically an urge that we constantly getting from the lower self to choose the wrong foods, like you said, you know, or we can be aware of the foods that we choose that can go back and maintain some form of livelihood. So by example, for me, I was 350 pounds. I'm nowhere near as lean and fit that I was when I was down at that 188, 8% body fat, but I did change that. So when I changed that, that was a force of will on the choices that I had, which brought the control back to me, but only within the matrix.
Okay.
So we don't have control. I love it when you brought it to me because that was one of the things that always, bothered me. If I don't have control over this, then why am I persecuted for making wrong choices?
Right.
So why I come to understand we persecuted for making wrong choices is because we asked to come into this existence. So we'll stop right there. Go ahead.
Break that down. Break down that we asked for. What? Break that down for me.
Well, that goes into Gnosticism. People can look that up. I think that we didn't have enough channels and people didn't heard enough, not even from our own mouth. You got clowns out there that's telling us so-called understanding or understanding, but this comes from Gnosticism. So Gnosticism basically says, Gnosticism groups all religions and basically said that they are pearls on God's chain. Everything comes from one source. So Gnosticism is the start and the end of understanding according to the science of this. It says that the soul that we have chose this existence, and upon choosing this existence, when we come into the body, we chose to forget as well. Why we chose to forget is for this moment now, which is the awareness. So we are given all of these life circumstances from childbirth. Well, I'm going to say, according to what I've learned, from after 7 up until now, we're given all of these different options to use our free will on. And those options led us to where we are today.
Okay.
So the nature versus nurture, some things that was put in us through genetics, some things we, like they say, okay, well, your father was high blood pressure, all of that crap. Sometimes
Right.
you know, existed because your family and everybody still eat and do the same thing. So
Right.
that's the nurture. The nature part of it is that you're born with brown eyes.
Okay.
So some things we truly can't change.
So who failed us then, if that's the case?
Mm. I think that the failure comes when we run on this automaton and when we get distracted with fear, anger, grief. So we fail ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
We fail ourselves every time we slip and don't recognize that the troubles that we're given, we're unaware that we asked for them. So since we are unaware that we asked for them, we treat them as if they're damning to us versus seeing a light in it. You know, like they say, there's a light at the end of every tunnel. You
Mm-hmm.
know? So just from my experience, um, it kind of rubs me the wrong way on how I used to think, because I always was almost reactionary, thinking that the things that was laid out for me, oh, I had to respond to those things,
Right.
not knowing that those things was just truly a part of an option that I asked for, that I was willing to overcome. But every time I go back into that cycle, I don't overcome them when I fail the test. So who
Okay.
failed us was us. So
Mm-hmm.
now we have the obligation to raise our own self up with an awareness, and then now to help each other out from that point. That way we won't keep failing us. I think that from my understanding, that the matrix is the design that's gonna fail you. So the TV fail you, the news fail you, the teachers fail you, you know, your parents failed you, you know, only to come to this realization that no one's gonna save you, you know.
No one's going to save me. But
No
at the
one's
end of
gonna
the day,
save you.
the discussion should be how can we save ourselves? Because it's
Yeah.
bad. It's bad to the point where, I mean, and we just talk about our community alone, man. We don't have any type of banking system. We don't have any type of major chain of not even a grocery store, a fast food restaurant. Um, we don't even have our own built vehicle. You know what I mean?
Right. And when you say that, you know, I always try to play, you know, the glass is half full.
Mhm.
However, you're correct, because even the ones that we do have is
Mhm.
so small and few in between, and it's not funded to
Right.
the public. So
Mhm.
we don't have it, even if we did have it in the backyard,
Exactly.
you know.
Even if you wanted to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be my own boss. I'm gonna go buy me some McDonald's. You are still presenting their name, uh, even if you own a chain yourself. So it's that's the legacy. Their name keeps going. You know what I mean? It's just like, even when it comes down to fashion, everybody is so excited to put on uh Balenciaga,
Yeah.
Gucci, Louis Vuitton, uh gallery department, uh
Hmm.
you whatever,
Polo,
that's
you
that's
know.
something exactly, but that's their name. But just say if I come out with the black righteousness, nobody's excited to wear that. They, ah man, or and then it's crazy. I was just talking to somebody. I was talking to a white man actually,
Mhm.
uh, and I was telling him on my own mouth. I said, hey, in our community, like in y'all community, white people can get away with wearing anything. They can just, they can just wear anything. I mean, and then in our community, like, we gotta dress to impress. It gotta be a label or something, or else girls gonna look at us like, hey man, this nigga dirty.
So let
Like,
me
you know what I'm
chime
saying?
in on that
Why
one.
do why we gotta live like that though?
So when you say who failed you part, I
Mhm.
think that the oxymoron to that scenario is that what they was taught in their community
Mhm.
about wealth and riches and how to show it,
Mhm.
was very similar to what was taught in our community. However, what was taught in our community was to show it on your physical, was to show it on your clothes, was to show it in your style, in your dress, and in your pizzazz. However, it didn't build long-term wealth.
No, because it didn't
So
continue in our name. We just became vanity slaves.
exactly, we became
somebody
vanity
else.
slaves. So
Yeah.
even what they consider wealth is still vanity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so just to kind of, because once again, if it wasn't for the platform and we having an open discussion, that's to show the balance to the audience of where we coming from, I would just agree with you all the way.
Yeah.
You know, but because of the fact of the matter of where we at, to show contrast to that is that they have that same matrix as well. It's just that their matrix just looks differently according to what
I'm glad you said that. Yeah.
The overall matrix is. So it's still a matrix.
Yeah. Yeah, because they still got their side of the pool too.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. So to kind of to backdrop on previous shows, because it's the blessing is that a couple people that we touched, as you know, we still have conversations with them outside of the channel. So meditation constantly comes up. And why it's not talked about enough, breath work, is because there's your control right there.
Mm-hmm.
There's your control right there.
Yeah.
So if you can intentionally control your breath, intentionally control your body rhythm, because we can, then there's your control. Yeah. Outside of that, we really don't have much control. Like a lot of people think free will, or I got free will. Yeah, because you think that you get up and go to work at a certain time, and you think you buy this certain grocery at XYZ. You can't go over there across the street down, 100 miles away and buy that grocery if it was a choice and come back and make it at dinner time. So we are limited by these choices that we call free will. So it's not truly what you would consider free will. It's free will to choose. Mm. So once again, I think that awareness comes from that breath work that comes through meditation. So that's the only control that we have, and then, some practices just to kind of elaborate on breaking the cycle of the matrix, which is still within the matrix. So it's kind of like an oxymoron. But when you break the cycle of it, you get small voices in your head that tell you, I think we talked about this. If you live left, it tells you to turn right. So you hear that voice, and that helps you break that routine or that automaton, that you normally would have as a robot. Mm-hmm. So we got too much things going on in our head. A lot of people are on their phone when they're driving to even hear that little voice to say, hey, turn this, make this right, not knowing that was the pothole or whatever the case may be that would have been avoided. So we get slight unctions on things that make the matrix dissolve. Mm-hmm. We get synchronicities. We get numbers. Hey, why do I keep seeing this 1111? And hey, I sent you a picture and you say, hey, I don't know why this picture is right there, but I sent you the picture because it said a number sequence. Yeah. So those are the things that give us the codes outside of the matrix. Mm-hmm. So that was the idea with Neo. Not to go into the movie, but that was the whole idea with Neo. You don't leave the matrix just to leave the matrix. You leave the matrix to become aware, to go back into the matrix. Right. So the whole thing is about control. Controlling what? Controlling the options that are given to us. Just like how you say we don't own this or we don't own that, we can partially control this now. We can. That's why I said maybe on a scale of what you see on the media or what comes out the square, we don't see that control. However, me and you are prime examples that we are in control of our own reality that's within the matrix, though.
So from what I picked up, I see that they make us live in a gamble.
In a what?
In a gamble.
In a gamble. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? The world is ran by a gamble. No matter what you do, if you invest money, gamble. And the reason I look at it like that is because if you want to be technical as a whole, I'm talking about all people, all races, whatever you want to call it. We control everything that goes on under the sun inside of the matrix, the program, whatever you want to call it. We are the stock market. We are the music industry. We are the food industry. We are this, we are that, because our energy that is transferred, well, I'm just saying like our money, whatever you want to call it. I call it energy. Everything is energy.
Yeah.
If we are not invested, it fails, it crashes, it burns. And that's what they do. They feed us dreams for us to dream about it. So when you see that BMW, that Lamborghini, whatever, you go down the street, man, I want to get me a Lambo. Man, when soon as that become a dream that you try to make a reality, you already gave it energy to keep going and making other people want the same thing, or you yourself want the same thing. Maybe you might get to the point where you actually are able to obtain it. So then when you are able to obtain it, you put that energy right back into it, keep it going. So if we come back as a people and stop and make life simple, that's how we take control. It's when we draw back from it. And if that's the case, man, if a Mercedes-Benz is the, let's say, the top brand of car in the world, these are just examples. If everybody started buying Hondas, then what?
So just to because I wanted you to, because that was profound. And I just want to, honestly just kind of, between me and you, I want to give you a hand on that one, because actually that part right there can be the whole basis of the show, because you said the gamble, you said basically the rat race or the routine, and then coming back to solitude. So when you said the gamble, I'm gonna say it exactly how you said it again. You said the gamble, then you said the vehicle, which was the Mercedes, then you said come back to solitude. So when you said the gamble, immediately what you drawn into my field was the fear. So the gamble of the matrix is the fear of loss. Fear of loss of what? Fear of loss of something that you haven't obtained. Oh, I got it. Okay,
Yeah.
well, I love it what you brought out of this. So it's the fear of loss of what you can obtain, which is now this Mercedes-Benz, which now brings you back into the cycle of even obtaining it to want it something else. Okay, so the biggest gamble that we're running against is death.
Exactly.
Because if we didn't fear death, because this is very, like you say,
because I was gonna get into that next.
I mean, this is just profound, because this is one of the great things about having conversations openly when you have an intelligent understanding of what you're trying to accomplish in life. That's why I said the awareness of this starts it all anyway. So that gamble, which is that fear-driven based idea of I have to have, and why you have to have it is because you feel you won't live long enough. You're gonna die soon, or XYZ, from all of this fear, hell, and damnation, even food, XYZ. So it brings about that cycle of that matrix to when you said, oh, I get the beings now. Because sometimes in your field of awareness, you can't hold it so strong. That's why you say, well, why this bad person get this good thing? Or why this? Well, it's not about good or bad. It's about that fear. It's about that energy that they possessed, that they was able to hold that vision long enough.
Yeah,
it's just that when they got that beings, they recreated the cycle. They didn't come to the enlightenment to say that I can obtain these material things, so let me leave them alone, which is the simplicity.
And that's the thing. But that's the thing I want to talk about. Another thing, when people, when this is what I be trying to tell people, and I don't think people understand this. Somebody got a mansion. You got a regular house. Somebody got a Lamborghini. You got a Honda. somebody make $300,000 a year. You make 70. You are still doing the same exact thing that other person is doing. You still have the same tools. This is why they say more money, more problem, because basically what you're doing is paying for your lifestyle. I don't care how simple it is. I don't care how greater it is. You ain't doing nothing but adding more stuff to the budget. You are racing to do the same exact thing. They go to Paris, you go to Paris. They in the penthouse, you in a suite. Y'all in the same place. If it's rush hour traffic and you stuck in traffic, they stuck in traffic. In a better car. But guess what? Both of y'all ain't moving. Who cares?
Now who cares truly? Because even to take it to the third level, that person that's in that penthouse and stuck in the Bentley, he obtained that because he once was that person that was probably in that Honda, but now he don't want to be in the Bentley. He wants the jet now.
Exactly.
Okay, so who cares? Believe it or not, it's the ego. It's what's latent in us that's hidden, dormant, that says, I, feed me, feed me, feed me. Feed me this material existence that keeps me coming back.
But if the banks close today, guess what? We all even.
Well, I like to think about it as if you know how they basically saying if everybody get, you know, so-called all of what they need, we're gonna say material needs. Now who's gonna wash the cars or who gonna right? You know, we all equal, you know.
Because you bored. It's just, that's why they say, I'm gonna tell you this. The more rich and powerful you are, I think it's easier for you to be manipulated. And the reason I say that is because when you do everything, you get bored. Now you want to start getting into some weird shit.
Right.
You need other weird forms of entertainment.
You know, and I think that to kind of go and coincide with that boredom that you're saying, that the more wealthier that you get, well, is also once again our awareness, because I just was looking into some people on how they went into that minimalist lifestyle.
Yeah. I watched that.
Right. So a lot of these people come from like sheer wealth. You know, so
yeah.
Right. So to get to that point, to know that you don't need anything, I think it takes the action of obtaining it, but not necessarily in the physical. So right. So if we see that the struggle to obtain certain riches, there's a struggle, but that feeling, this is what you're talking about. Hey, if you're driving in a Benz or you're driving in a Honda, that feeling is the same. So why not accept the feeling of driving in that Honda AC stuck in traffic versus saying, oh, I need better. So when we accept, because that's one thing about the existence of a human, is that we're given this existence to accept it.
Yeah.
You know, to become as water. Bruce Lee said to become as water. So that means we go with the flow of the environment. Don't long for too much left. Don't long for too much right. You stay in a balance type of environment.
It's nothing that's unobtainable, even in the capitalist system. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So if you think about it, the reason why you haven't got what you want is because you're trying to maintain the lifestyle that you have, and you're not putting it to the side to get to the other lifestyle.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So basically, let's just say if you are, let's just say your budget of every month is $3,000 to $4,000. That's your budget. You know, I think that's good living. You got a regular good house.
That's great.
got a car, you got, you got things, you got amenities, maybe some applications, you got you go buy your Smile Fish, you get your food, all that. But let's just say if you stop door dashing, if you stop smoking weed, you stop this, you stop that, and now you to minimize your budget to about 2,000.
Right.
You're gonna see that difference if you tuck that and you come back maybe a year later and be like, hey, look, I go get that Benz.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing I think people are scared of. They scared to sacrifice and then complain about what they don't got. But
yeah, that's the keeping up with the Joneses scenario.
Yeah.
You make more money and you create more debt. So
Exactly.
so as you go up the ladder, you create more debt. So the opposite of what's being taught in the wealthy families is that the more money you make, the more you invest. The more you invest, the less debt you create because your investments is now paying off your past and debts. And now the more money you keep. So the more money you keep, your money rise and your debt falls. However, the more money we make, we spend that same exact money on material goods that puts us more in debt.
Exactly.
So, that's for Financial Fridays, but at the same token, we need to start to understand how our money works. So when we work in these long hours, we're not just trying to keep up with the Joneses. We're not just trying to buy the fancy purse. We're not just trying to ride nice. Yeah, it's good to ride nice. But like you just said, tuck, and then ride nice when you're comfortable. Don't ride nice and now you gotta wait till the next paycheck to go get some gas because you bought the V8.
Exactly. You gotta maintain it.
You gotta maintain it.
It's just like that. Like you buy a Mercedes-Benz, now you gotta pay for Mercedes-Benz maintenance.
I think that's the loss of control too. That's a very good example of not being in control. You can control so much to where, now you obtain the Benz, but the loss of control because you lost control in the material sense, now all you did was create more debt to work more hours for the people that's already on vacation.
Exactly.
So we obtain these material goods just to go to work for another 10 or 15 hours overtime, never to enjoy the goods.
Yeah, never to enjoy yourself.
Never to enjoy yourself. That's a whole other topic, man. People do not enjoy themselves.
People do not, bro. It is crazy that it's the rat race got people so locked in that they don't even understand how much it is of a good thing to give yourself 2 hours a day to yourself.
Okay, so that's a great way to. Okay, so check this out, Brian. So when you say, "Are we in control?" If the actual person put enough energy in themselves as they did for a 4-hour day, we just gonna say 4 hours. It's 20 hours, so 4 hours. They will reach such a darkness, such a fear, such a place that they would tap into that they would release a lot of the baggage. However, once they start to go down that dark road, they locked into the past and locked into the pain to where they never release it.
Well, let's think about this. The fear of death, like you said, is the constant fight as well, because you got to think, if you want to look at life, everybody really is a walking bucket list. They think about everything they want to do before they die. So they just cram and trying to make something happen. They don't give a fuck if it's for a moment or whatever. It's just like that.
Well, once again, I'm gonna just throw one out there for us to kind of talk about in the future: human being versus human doing. So if right, I don't want to get into that because that's another show. So with that being said, to exist is the gift. Just to be is the gift. To observe nature. So just like, we could just say, like you said, when I was growing up, 20 years ago, whatever the case may be, some 50, some 100 years ago, if they still alive, thank God. Things have changed. I didn't have a cell phone, so they given us more and more material things to ponder on and to to want, versus
Yeah.
like you said, the natural way of living, which would be, go take some walks in nature, have your lights off by a certain time, not because you're conserving, because that's just part of the rhythm of the way nature works, and you falling into line with the natural harmony of things now, which now creates more finances, which is prosperity. So that's the funny thing about it, and I think we laughing at the same thing. Some people work differently though, but when I go to bed early, I know I'm waking up early to some good life.
Right.
So I think that that's part of this matrix idea, is that once we lock into the control of what the options that we're given, they start to work out for us. So life starts to be this game, not a gamble now. It becomes this game
It's a game. It's a game.
It's still a game. It's gonna
It's a
always be a game.
Because but the gamble is the what?
But the gamble is to play.
Exactly.
So, but there's a winning strategy to it, to where now you're not gambling no more. Now you're just winning in the game.
Yeah.
So, but the game didn't change. So
No,
what changed? What changed was the control that you take over within yourself.
Mm-hmm. What I say when people ask, because people say that a game don't change, only the players. I think the game do change, because the game keeps getting shit added to it. More distractions. You know what I'm saying? And a random thought, like the word blessing. You got the word blessing, right? But to be blessed is to receive. If you want to, you can look at this from two aspects. You can be blocking your blessings, meaning the shit that you're receiving, because they bless you with the eyes. Just because they show it to you don't mean you got it, or they give it to you. You feel me? And when you be less of who you are, you're blocking your real blessings just to create, like you said, more debt, more turmoil, more, because you're chasing something that's not really a blessing. And that's the idea of taking what the devil gets you, or the devil tricking you into wanting this and that. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not really getting your biggest lessons. You're taking
crumbs.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You're taking the little crumbs, right?
So your real lesson that you're supposed to be learning is knowledge of self, and being one with earth and one with yourself, but you're taking everything that turns you away from that.
Okay,
or you're chasing everything that turns you away from that.
Right. You talking to me. You talking to the 20-year-old me, the 30-year-old me. So nothing ever happened to me. It's a lot of esoteric information that comes out on why you never be sick, why you don't get bones broke. But I never had a bone broke. I never, had a disease and went to the hospital. I never had any of that. So the flip side of that is that I'm self-inflicted. So the Matrix did me so wrong, according to me doing myself so wrong within this, is that it gave me all the things that actually tore me down.
Easy.
So easily. I mean, it gave it to me so easily. I mean, I just kept going into this loop of where, the popularity, I ain't gonna get all off into the street credibility and all of that, because that doesn't matter, because that is what actually brought me down, but it was still there. So what I call success in that tidal wave of defeat actually is what I thought was good. So that loop that you're talking about, that doggone, that deception of our own self, it creates the turmoil of the body. So it seems to me is like, once we are unaware that this is happening, we constantly get defeated in the body. The physical body starts to wear down.
Exactly, because this ain't nothing but an antenna.
That's it. So,
it's an antenna, or what you want to call a receiver. And then you got to think. So from me working in the tech field, everything works on inputs and outputs.
Right.
You feel me?
It's a balance. Right.
So to receive is an input, and you're the output. You're supposed to be putting out good shit, and you're not. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
and that goes for everybody. We so programmed to the point. You got to think, man. It's even bad to take a shit for real in the toilet and flush it, but that's our only no. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to be able to eat good enough naturally when we go outside and take a shit in the backyard and shit grow. I'm being honest though.
Hey, but that's real.
I'm
Hey,
being
we're
honest.
so far away from that though. But
Yeah.
that's true.
Why you think they use horse manure, cow manure, all they manure and shit grow? You know what I'm saying? You think we ain't able to do that?
Of course, because that's the physical body. That's the physical body.
So I mean, when you live like shit, you eat like shit, you shit, and they say you are what you eat.
That's right. That's right.
So it's just like that. And these are hell of a type of cycles to try to break out of when you so used to living like this.
Man.
And everybody around you live like this. You know what I'm saying? And then another topic in the video that I wanted to discuss was because we was talking about future, spirituality, finances, whatever, because we control it in so many ways. Let's get into the spiritual aspect of the control, because we even control with religious practices and just the discussions or the fear of what we may do or say when it comes to who we call religious leaders, or certain how that's blasphemy, how dare you say or do anything against what has been presented to you from your household as a child, that was given to you to start your belief system or which direction you should go spiritually.
Yeah. So spiritually, like you said, man, with the religion part, all I kept hearing was fear. So the biggest control aspect that they kept us going with religion was hell, the fear of hell. You know, so that fear and control within Christendom. I don't know if we even talked about that, but it's Christendom, Christendom. That actually started within Constantine after the Constantine era with Rome, when they wanted to control everything through politics. They want to control the school system, the days of week, the worship. So that's the religion that we're consuming now. And when we're consuming that religion so faithfully, and then you tell a person that is not real, only thing they can think about is they going to hell. And then they say, well, I'd rather believe this than not believe it. Well, what's the not if you don't believe it? You feel you're gonna go to hell.
Yeah.
So that's one of the biggest control factors that they have with religion. And then the ritualistic part of religion keeps man in his worship zone or his worshiping gene per se. So when you have all of this ritualistic worship, it fine tunes the body to start to be created for the soul. So you're not doing anything that's gonna create a better soul by doing all of these practices. Why? Because through this so-called religion, you had most murders. So through religion, if you got so much damnation, then how can the practice of religion make you better? It's not the practice of religion that makes you better. The religion was the control.
You know how I look at the word religion, because we get into etymology and all that type of stuff. So I just break it down. That means to redo anything. Legion, they trying to get their people back. They trying to get that legion back. Them prayer warriors.
Okay, so I always go with both sides to that. So when you say which is before, like you said,
to
redo, and then you said, and then legere also, legere, because Greek comes after Latin. So it was to bind. So you're binding to the before what is the before the body. So
Yes.
the true religion is Christ consciousness and the awareness that you are not the body. So that's the true religion, to avoid the matrix and realize that the only religion that we have is the knowledge of self.
Right. And
so
that,
when
I look at it, because I gotta, I'm gonna tell you a movie that kind of twisted me the fuck up.
Okay.
And that was the Book of Eli.
Okay.
That was the first time I ever broke down a word was religion. You know what I mean? When I started practicing even a little bit of etymology.
Right.
And the Book of Eli, basically, I don't know if you've seen that movie before. Have you seen it? They was gonna use religion to control the people. I think at some point in time, they lost that. I think this is where the re comes from. You feel me? And they trying to get that legion back, to get the collective. We are the apocalypse. I think the apocalypse already happened. What you want to say, revelations, whatever you want to call it. I don't think nothing in the Bible or any book that has to do with revelations or the coming back of Christ and all this type of shit. I think that shit already happened. I don't think that's...
Well, look, just for the clarification of the channel and what we're doing, is that past, present, and future all is one.
Exactly.
So I don't want to get too far off on a narrative, because Revelations is about the chakra system and is about, the body. So I don't want to get too far off into that, because once again, that's a study.
Yeah.
So we just coming from the top of our mind, we could just say, all of these things are X, Y, Z. However, they have a foundation above. So it says, as above, also below. So there's a pattern that's been flipped out within this matrix that we should have been following. So that's the as above, and then it turns out to the below. So what we see is a usurp of the original pattern.
Yeah, because that's why they say shit like history repeats itself. That is a loop.
Exactly.
That's a loop right there in itself. That lets you know that we only exist right now.
So within that existence of right now, there's a construct that we call time, because of the way the stars move, the way the planetary alignments move. Then you have different ages of time. So not necessarily time of a clock.
Yeah.
Cycles within what we call the matrix.
But that's the illusion to make people think that they can't change the world today.
Okay, well, if that's such an illusion, then you have to explain the dark ages. You got to explain the industrial age. Now we're going into the age of Aquarius, which is the age of enlightenment, and why people are talking like this now.
Because my reasoning for this is, if this shit repeats itself,
why does it only repeats itself? Because of humans.
But that's a cycle. If that's the case, then this ain't nothing but a hamster wheel.
It's the matrix. You're right. It is
a hamster on the wheel.
Well, you're correct. But check it out though. Check it out. You're correct. Why you don't want to accept that?
No, what I'm saying is
no. What you're saying is right. So you want it to be something else.
Okay, jump
so
off.
It's not gonna be. It's gonna be what you said it is. We're gonna continuously live in the matrix. We're gonna continuously follow the rat race. We're gonna continuously wallow in the mud until the awareness come to where you at right now.
Listen, people, get the fuck off the wheel.
But that's the crazy part about it.
Get the fuck off the wheel.
It don't stop. It don't stop. The wheel is gonna continue to go and grow. You said there's nothing new under the sun, and then you had to add in, like, man, things is changing because they keep adding things new. Why? Because that hamster wheel keeps spinning.
but it won't spin if motherfuckers stop caring about what they think is new.
So guess what though? Guess what though, Brian? You only gonna save yourself.
That's a fact. I want to change the world, damn it.
I mean, but look,
I want to start here.
You know, okay, then it says that you can't be too caring, but you can't be too evil neither. So
right.
some people have an imbalance. When I was 30, I was more on the evil side. At your 30 age, you more harmonious and more loving.
Yeah,
you know?
But I'm still evil too, though.
Well,
I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
I get what you mean.
I ain't trying to make you look like
no, because I'm being honest though. Like, I'm a righteous motherfucker, but I do get on my survival of the fittest type shit.
Okay, what controls your righteousness is your awareness, is your control. Not that the animal isn't in there.
No, because it be times I be like, man, I ain't gonna do them like that though. I can't.
Okay, so that's
what I'm saying. Like,
so now we having a phone conversation. Now we having them phone conversations.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, don't think that thought be like.
That's not the point. The point clearly now is that you're aware of it.
Oh, facts. That's fact. And that's what make it hurt more or make you feel better too. I'll be like, damn. Because if I do some shit, I'll be like, damn. And if I do some real good shit, I'll be like, hell yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, woo, man.
So guess what they call it? That's what they call it. They call it crash out. So all you clearly saying is that, damn, you know, I control myself from crashing out. And we all can. Now I ain't gonna say we all, because that's why we talking about it now. We all have the propensity to crash out. Some of us just crash out.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I feel what you're saying, because it seems like it is like, damn, where's the way out of this crazy illusion? There isn't. That the physical world is the illusion, and that's why you hear the only way out is on the inside. You don't get a break from this.
So I know you don't give a fuck, but you know they already got that iPhone 29 waiting for you,
right? Hey, this is gonna be people right there to buy it, man.
Hey, look, and that's what I'm saying. That we don't even control the aspect of the products. You know what I mean? Why we don't got a cell phone company called Black Talk? Nothing.
So you know what? Though,
you know what I mean?
You know, the funny thing is that those whys was a real thing for me until I really learned, like, oh, that never was supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That only supposed to happen if that's part of your reality right then.
Mm-hmm.
So if we think that somehow we supposed to have welcomed the change and live this Black pro-life, it might happen. It just won't happen within this lifetime.
I ain't really hey man, I done grew out of that pro-Black shit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I care about my people and shit. All my people don't care about me. But I'm gonna be honest with you. At some point, we should have had something. And not only just something that they want as well. Not something that they can steal and reuse.
Okay, so
go ahead.
You had me, but then you went too far. So
Why you say that?
Watch this. I'm about to show you. You said at some point we should have had something. That's right now. That's true. Yeah. I feel that at some point out of 50 states, 51, whatever you say, or whatever they say, we should at least have 13 states that we control.
Exactly.
So
13 brands. Right.
So, but when you went further, and then you said, what was that last part you said? You said we should have
something that they want too.
Okay, now watch this.
Mm-hmm.
We got everything that they want. Everything that they do, they copy from us. Who is the they?
Yeah, that's what I said.
The
That's why
Matrix. The
I said
Matrix
that.
copies melanin.
Right. But at the same time, they could have wanted it, but they had to go through us to get it. And that's why I get mad about shit like hip hop and shit. Why don't we control what we call a culture?
Because of money. Well, we got one thing that's about to lose control. Well, it'll lose control in a couple of our understandings, but the fiat principle of the last 100 some years, you know, after the Rockefeller and the you know the separation from gold and all of that, then you had this wealth gap. But prior to that, you had like a steady stream of middle class and wealthy growing together. Now they might not have intermingled far as wealth and middle class, but they grew together. So now what you have is wealth growing and you have the people becoming more impoverished. Well, that's because of this financial system of this inflated dollar. We won't go into that. That's a whole different show. But
Yeah,
that's
I know.
why
That's the one thing about this show. I'm like, damn, it's certain things we just can't because it's another topic. But
it's another right. But that's why though, bro, because of the way we have been mishandled with money.
Right.
So money is the reason why we in this type of a system that we in now. Because I believe strongly in reincarnation. I understand that we're setting up a new world for us in the future that doesn't necessarily deal with this fiat system. However, it might not happen within the next 20 years to where we gain control again. Right. You know, so this monetary system is what brought the melanated being down, because a barter system, or when we control what we had, like sharecropping, you know, they had to come to the field to get the food from us, but the money that they gave wasn't the right fair exchange.
That was
another trick,
an agreement. And that's right. and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what slavery really is. That's the trickery. That was the trick. You feel me? And if we want to get into it, I ain't gonna get into it. That's another show. That's another show.
See how you put, I like what you did.
Hey, peace, guy. Hey,
that's still what's going on.
That's my guy right there, man. I wish you could come up on the show. I don't know if you got time or not, man. That'd be great, man. That's my boy, man. He been living in Africa, man.
Okay.
Years now. He done traveled through over 20 countries, man. In Africa alone, man. He go through Asia. He go through Europe. He go everywhere, man. I know he got a lot to say, man.
Man, I would love to hear his opinion.
You know, and then you know, I'm gonna take one of his tours soon, man. I was just talking to him the other day about that. You know, about doing an educational tour, 7-day tour and stuff, anywhere, any country I want. You know.
Okay. All right. That's a good thing, man. That's a good thing. I would like to definitely meet the brother, and then, you know, learn more about you know, hear what he got to say, learn his wisdom. You know, it's funny you said that, and he's on the show listening, but I've been to Lagos, Nigeria, you know, and one thing I'll say about that, well, we ain't even got to get into the description and all of that. One thing I'll say is that Afro-melanated, I'm melanated, so I'm Afro, meaning melanin starts in the foothills of Kilimanjaro, as they say. So, but I'm not from Africa, as they say.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I know better.
Right. I'm Aboriginal to this land.
Yeah, you about to say it.
Look. I'm part of this land mass right
I understand
here.
that. Yeah, for sure.
You know, so by being there and going over there, and that was one of the biggest things that I've learned, that people say, hey, well, what did you bring back? What did you get from there? And I got from there is that if we're going to make it anywhere, we're going to make it right here on this land.
Yeah, for sure. We got to, because if you can't claim back, how you going to run from home? You going to let them, you know what I'm saying? You can't, you got to be able to claim back where your roots from, because you would never feel right. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I know about me. I know I got a lot of Cherokee and I got a lot of Apache in my bloodline. You know what I'm saying? And I think they want to remove us from that.
So what happened, even with a greater thought that was led to me, because I always looked into those tribes as well. At one point in time, you had the whole Midwest and Eastern Hemisphere of the Mississippian, and then later Turtle Island.
Yeah.
See, so our true name is Mississippians. The whole landmass that was half of America from the south all the way to the east was called Mississippian.
Well, now they got people has been doing extensive research, and they've been saying that America really is Egypt.
Well, when you say it like that, let's get a great clarification, and then we can kind of end the show, because I love where we're going. That's what makes our shows great, because we can do this all day. So, right. Because I sprinkled myself with the Igbo community, with the Yoruba community that's out of Nigeria, I know some Tanzanian people, so I know some different cultures within that continent. So when you say America being Egypt, Egypt, when you look it up, I forgot the guy's name, but he the one that coined the term Egypt. They called it Kemet before. And even before that, when I talked to the elders of these different cultures, they didn't name their landmass. Right. I asked my current peers that are 50 and older, and they asked their parents that are still living to this day. This is recent. And they in the 81, I think she's 80, she turned 85. She couldn't remember her grandparents telling her a name of that landmass. They named their countries. Yeah. And a lot of those boundaries was recreated to bring about over 100 something countries, when it wasn't that many countries on that landmass. So let's get back to America. So when you look at Pangea and you look at the core of what they say the earth is, meaning the land that extends from, beneath the oceans as far as down as they can see, is what they call Africa, right? They never tell us that America is very similar to that extended part of the landmass. Right. So according to Pangea, that's one landmass. Yeah. So we have more what they call pyramids in America than the whole landmass of Africa. Right. So when you say America, you say Americas, because of South America, America, and then Canada. Those land masses were inhabited by melanated beings that our forefathers were a part of, that we are a part of, and those pyramids are still structured here today.
Yeah, that's a fact, and that's anywhere in the world too. That's not just here. You can go look up Chinese Aboriginals. You can go look up.
They all brown.
Everybody. I don't care what culture. I don't.
Okay, let's get back to this. Let's get back to this one point though. When you said Kemet or Egypt being America, and then I said that because this is all Googleable, information. Googleable. There are more pyramids in America.
Yes, facts.
So why do they tell us to stay out of Egypt? That's just another conversation. That's just an idea for the public. Why is Egypt so bad? That's just an idea.
I really started thinking. I think that because I was looking at stuff like pyramids and stuff like that. I think this is my opinion. Now, I'm not saying this is a fact or anything. I think that our pyramids, anything that's south of here, like what you would call like Mexico, all those pyramids, I think all the Aztec shit, I think those are more complicated pyramids. I think the ones with the steps on them is more complicated than the ones that's just smooth.
Okay, so what basically what you're saying is that these pyramids were designed according to the planetary stars.
Well, that's what they that's what they said. But I don't think I don't think it was just designed. I think
No. Watch this. Watch this.
okay.
So right now we're speaking about the facts. So
Okay.
the facts that they say, because they still according to what they say, is that the pyramids are aligned with the stars. And when you said that the complexity of the pyramid is the complexity of what's above. So
Mhm.
because as above, also below.
Mhm.
So that's part of the reason for the complexity that you see within the pyramids. And when you say Aztecs, they was here before the Aztecs. They was here before the Olmecs.
Yeah.
So Olmecs are before the Aztecs. They was even here before the Olmecs.
Just like the mounds. The mounds ain't nothing.
Exactly, the mounds.
Yeah,
Exactly.
the mounds
So
are.
those people were called
Yeah.
mound builders.
Mhm.
But they was even named. They somebody gave them that name.
Right.
So what we're doing is we're using history and just lining everything up. And when we know that this matrix is full of these different geometrical shapes that fit into each other,
Mhm.
we can see how everything is just all one anyway. So it's still back to that collapse.
Yeah.
It's still back to that past, present, future. Everything is all one. So why should you be any different than what's been on this land if you already own this land?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and
Why do we got to make things so difficult?
yeah.
And
The winners rewrite history anyway, man. So it's
man,
a reason. It's a reason, and this is why they give us that little section of what they call Native American people, and say they are the Native Americans, so we can lose, so that can be separated from us as well. You know what I'm
exactly,
saying?
exactly.
So, you know what I mean? And they give them little parts of land and casinos and shit and all. Come on, man. Ain't nobody stupid, man.
So like you say, are we in control? No, but we
Yeah.
can gain control with our awareness.
Hey, name me. Hey, people, I got a challenge for you. Name me. Give me a name of 5 slave ships. Every ship got a name. Name 5, and come back.
Hey man,
I'm just being honest now. Name 5 slave ships. Find them in the archives. Real study. Don't look up no Google. Come back. Smack me in the face with it, please.
yeah, I mean, that's so heavy of a conversation that's being revealed now to where it's hard to hit Google, it's hard to hit
Oh yeah.
ChatGPT, it's hard to hit any source, and that lets you know that it's becoming so real to where now it's being censored.
Yeah.
So
I've watched Google. I remember, I can say like 10 years ago, I've looked up something on Google, and then I can come back now and say, hey, I can do the same research, and it would not give me the same results.
exactly,
It
exactly.
would.
Censorship.
Mm-hmm.
Censorship. Yep.
Yeah. So
Yes, sir, bro.
yeah.
Yeah, man. It's been one, man, for me. I appreciate, as usual. It's
Yeah,
been
man.
a great one.
Yeah, man. We coming back, man. We're gonna be coming back with bangers, man. More back to back. We had some, things going on in life. Trips here, trips there. A lot of research and stuff going on and stuff, y'all. We ain't just gonna feed y'all no bullshit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Building content, living life.
Hey man, I appreciate everybody who support and you come watch. I hope y'all would, start joining the panel. I would appreciate that because I want to hear more people's opinions. I want to hear people's research. I take some debates. I want some debates. I want some. So
Right.
make sure you can feel free to you want to come up and speak or talk about your experiences with your opinions or whatever, man. We value them all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And I was told it's okay to say support and like the channel.
Yeah.
Several times, So, yeah, for sure, man. Support and like the channel, man. I'm glad to be here. I appreciate the platform. I appreciate, you giving me the opportunity to kind of share some of my thoughts, some of the things I've studied and learned. So,
Yeah. Hey, and man, y'all be watch out for the shorts and don't forget about the Instagram. Y'all can hit us up on there too. It's Do You Be Listening Though as well on Instagram. We're gonna be posting a lot more content and stuff like that. Content from the show, content from things that we got going on outside and stuff. Oh yeah, we got some more exciting stuff too. Where we're gonna talk to regular people on the street as well. So look out for that. And yeah, man, we here for it. If y'all don't want to come talk to us, we're gonna come talk to you. How
Yeah,
about
I like that? I like that. That's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to give y'all a farewell shout out, man, and bid y'all night, you know, a very peaceful night, you know.
Yeah.
I'm signing off.
All right, man. You know I'm about to end it with a song.
All right.
Let
Now.
it loud. All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming, man. Yeah.
Yeah. I ain't here to sell y'all no dreams and no shit like that, you know. Yeah. Look, nigga, I ain't here to play make-believe. And I ain't the nigga that's gonna sit around and tell you to be grateful for what you got. If you want it, then go get it. Simple as that. It's a reason you don't accept the way you live. It's a reason you want the same love in return when you add up all the things you give. Don't let them play games with you. Guaranteed if the shoe was on the other foot, they wouldn't want to live the same with you. They don't have to walk outside at first light and have to see the same picture. You still waiting for a savior, huh? Listen to the same scripture. I ain't about to go insane with you. I ain't about to be the same nigga. Living with ya, being living with ya. Doing the same thing, expecting different results. Don't get it with ya. Fuck all that. Niggas got it twisted like they can't put a cap on. If I make that plate, I'ma eat it myself. Nigga, I ain't Jimmy Crackcorn. And I do care, the line's right there. Don't live in the rim of life ain't fair. Fuck the end of the tunnel, bitch, your light's right there. Take a chance one time, bitch, your dice right here. I'ma give you head scratches like lights in your hair. Why you sitting around waiting, nigga, life right here. Life right here. Living in a world full of make-believe. Nigga run around with a box. But I control my reality. Infinity sign on my clock. Just cause they don't understand me now. They tell me I'm a paradox. But later on in life they'll get it then. And then they'll be on my jock. They will. A lot of these niggas is fake as hell. I swear y'all remind me of props. Need to get rid of these lame fucks. Like when a pimple go pop. Most of you niggas should call yourself homeless cause y'all live in a box. My whole style orthodox. Dummies is a breed, not a flock. A lot of people say that they in it for the money, but the enemy is the ones that print it. So that mean you really not winning. Your power ain't taking this giving. You wake up every day, you ain't doing shit. What's the point of you really even living? Tell me. No, I ain't a preacher, I'm a realist. And nigga, I be going straight gorillas. Living in the system, tell me when we gon' break the chains. Minute shit off the chains. Nothing make me lose my brain. I'm just trying to hit a switch though. Start to problem out the picture like a nigga do an itch, yo. We need to get this shit together as a group like red and black do when a nigga play Connect 4. I'm just pushing through the threshold, trying to see how many niggas with me when I say let's go. But I don't depend on one person living, so I won't get offended when they say no. I ain't the nigga that's gonna give you that caseload. He ain't tell you what to do or what I say so. Y'all motherfuckers know what the fuck you living in, so y'all should be telling me let's go. Living in a world full of make-believe. Nigga